Okay, so picture this. A sun-scorched, arid coast in southern Spain. It's August. The air is just thick with heat, the landscape is all dusty and dry, and you can practically feel the tension in the air. This is the world we're dropped into for Deborah Levy's amazing novel, Hot Milk. And this is where we meet our main character, Sophia. She's 25, an anthropology student who's basically put her entire life, including her PhD, on pause. Why? To find a cure for her mother, Rose, who has this really mysterious leg ailment that no doctor back in England can figure out. Sophia says this right after her laptop smashes on a bar floor. And that one line, that broken screen, it's just this perfect, powerful metaphor for how she feels about herself, you know? Like her own identity is completely fractured and depends on everything and everyone else around her. So let's get to the heart of it. The whole story really revolves around this oppressive, super codependent relationship between Sophia and her mother. It's Rose's bizarre illness, the fact that she can walk one minute and is completely paralyzed the next, that dictates every single thing about Sophia's life. Yeah, you can really see the dynamic laid out here. You've got Sophia, 25, working as a waitress instead of getting her degree, constantly tied to her mother's beck and call. Rose's illness is like the main character in both of their lives, and it creates this zero-sum game. For Sophia to have that bigger life she wants, it feels like her mom would have to be cured. But her entire existence is built around her mother being sick. All this desperation leads them to what feels like their absolute last hope. It's this unconventional place called the Gomez Clinic, out in the Spanish desert, and it costs a fortune. We're talking 25,000 euros, which they get from a second mortgage. It's a place that promises answers when no one else has any. But Dr. Gomez, well, he is not your typical doctor. Not even close. His methods are just bizarre. I mean, he literally mirrors his patients' groans, he gets into a debate about how to pronounce Wi-Fi, and he's got a taxidermied monkey in his office. It's pretty clear he's way more interested in their psychology than any physical symptoms, hinting that the real problem is something much, much deeper. But it's not just the clinic where things start to shift. One day, while she's swimming, Sophia gets stung by a jellyfish, and this really painful, physical moment becomes this potent symbol for the psychological sting that's basically paralyzed her life for years. And here's where it gets really interesting. It's the name of the jellyfish that's so important. The student who helps Sophia with her sting tells her that in Spanish, a jellyfish is called a medusa, and that word instantly connects Sophia's pain to this huge mythological figure. Now, if you know your Greek mythology, you know exactly who Medusa is. She's this monster whose gaze could literally turn you to stone, just paralyze you on the spot. And her hair? A tangled mess of venomous snakes, just like the jellyfish's tentacles. The connection is, well, it's impossible to miss. And Sophia asks herself that exact question. She starts to see it. The sting of the Medusa is just like the paralyzing effect of her mother's gaze, of her whole life situation. She realizes she was turned to stone long before she ever stepped into that water. So, if the jellyfish sting is the diagnosis, what's the cure? Well, it shows up in a pretty unexpected way. Sophia meets a woman named Ingrid Bauer, who's this charismatic, totally free-spirited German seamstress, and she is everything that Sophia is not. I mean, Ingrid is confident, she's direct, she lives a life that's completely her own. She drives, she has her own job, her own lover. For Sophia, she's like this window into a whole other world, a world of personal freedom and desire that has nothing to do with being Rose's daughter. And get this little detail just says it all. Sophia has failed her driving test 4 times. Think about that. It's such a perfect symbol for her whole situation. She literally cannot take the wheel of her own life and drive it forward. So after this strange, tense moment, Sophia and Ingrid share this impulsive kiss on the beach. And it's so much more than a kiss. It's like a jolt of electricity. It's an act of rebellion, a way of waking up her own wants, her own life that has just been sleeping for way too long. All right, so let's head back to the clinic. Because while Sophia is having this personal awakening, Dr. Gomez is finally ready to reveal his true diagnosis. And surprise, surprise, it has almost nothing to do with Rose's legs. It turns out, Dr. Gomez's real project was never about healing a physical illness. It was about dissecting this toxic mother-daughter relationship. He saw that the paralysis wasn't in Rose's legs, it was in Sophia's life, a life totally suffocated by this unhealthy family dynamic. And his advice to Sophia is so simple, but so powerful. He looks right past her mother and tells Sophia directly that her own freedom has to come first, before any real healing can even start. She can't fix her mother until she fixes herself. And that's what the whole novel really leaves us with, this one huge, provocative question. Hot Milk is this masterful look at how symptoms can be a kind of language and how the illness you see on the surface might just be hiding a much deeper wound. The real question isn't just about who is sick, but what the sickness really is.